So Scotty Real, what's up with old people and cannabis?
Whoa, a lot actually, man. I know a lot of old people that love cannabis, man.
I knew.
Come on, let's get into it.
Let's do it. So, I got to start with this old. When I first read this article, you always feel young at heart. I mean, just look at you. You're a strapping lad. But this article
Yeah.
says people 50 and over are turning more to cannabis as a safe and effective treatment for pain and sleep issues. Now,
All right.
I'm
Hey, look, hang on a second. That makes total sense, man, because when you turn 50, I'll say 50, definitely. I'm 53. My metabolism, whatever you want to call it, changed. I didn't want to go mountain biking so much and was very happy to get a good night's sleep, you know? One of the things that screwed up my sleep is if I went out to dinner and had a couple beers, I mean literally 2 beers, man, I'd be up all night running to the bathroom. So I just by doing something little like that, uh, improves your sleep dramatically, man. Sleep is huge. So for me to say, oh man, instead of doing that, I want a little buzz before dinner, I'll smoke a little bit. It's not like I'm, Scotty straight edge, man. I smoke, the other guys drink a couple beers and we all have a good time. But just, changing behavior like that, especially since it's legal.
mm-hmm. Sleep is important. That's how the body rests, that's how the body recovers, and we need it. So there's a lot of ways that can help you get there. I know last week we were talking about CBD pillows and CBD mattresses. That's not the answer. That's not the answer. If you
No,
guys haven't watched it,
no.
go back and watch it. But this is a real thing. So we actually kind of fall into this category, age wise, I guess, for the sake of argument, we're older. But there's a whole.
Was talking like an
I
old guy.
know.
I was just like, and your sleep is so important, okay? Don't drink alcohol, kids, okay?
Don't
Smoke the reefers instead.
don't stand up too fast. You know. So for the sake of argument, we are the older people. But there is a whole other generation ahead of us, and they are probably the ones who are most indoctrinated with the reefer madness. Just
Yes.
cannabis is bad, there's no benefit to it. But those are the people who I think can actually maybe benefit the most.
Agreed. You know what else they are? They're indoctrinated with following the law. And
It's very true.
no, but seriously, there was big penalties for weed back in the day. I went to jail for half an no an eighth. It was half of a quarter, man, an eighth, and I went to jail for it. So, uh, yeah, there's a lot of people think that it's criminal and they wouldn't do it even if it was good medicine because it was against the law. Think about Brownie Mary. Brownie Mary, she knew it was good medicine, but it was way against the law. Now that it's legal, it totally there's people that'll just be like, "Yo, it's legal. I'll try it now. It's legitimate medicine." So it's a big deal.
It does. It's funny how that kind of makes the mindset of like, well, it's okay or it's not okay. Granted, I get legality is one thing. It's the law. We should all follow it for many things. Good people break bad laws, but that generation is trusting. So you just kind of take things at face value. You take the Reefer Madness movie at face value. You get
Now, my mother-in-law was very straight edge, 80s, 90s, and it might have been my influence on her, but I gave her a vape pen one time. It was probably only about 10 years ago, and she loves it. And she doesn't love just the, aches and pains thing. She loves that it makes her fun. She gets high and she goes out and she plays pickleball and she laughs and instead of hanging out at the house watching TV, she gets high and is like, "Come on, let's go visit somebody, man. Let's go to
hey,
Dairy Queen, everybody. I'm driving."
the life of the party.
But yes, and she will when she comes over for the barbecue or a party. She's the first going, and it's hilarious, man, and it's perfect. And she's, she's retired. She's in her 70s, and she's always going out, always having fun, always puffing on that laser cat. I like it. She goes, "I like laser cat." It's a pretty high end cart. She got class. you know.
Well, hey,
But
if you're gonna do it right.
we were talking last week about that woman that used she's using CBD and THC to get up and get moving at 95 years old. And she like I remember the guy saying to me, it's not the CBD that didn't work. It was the THC. That's the one that worked. And think about it. It gets us high. It gets us, wanting to go. Why do you think I like smoking weed so much? Smoking. I'm like, come on, let's go hang out. Hey, you seem like a cool guy. What's going on? It's a mood. Changes your mood. It reduces your anxiety.
It does. It goes. It. I mean, again, great point because it goes beyond those physical ailments too. It does change your perspective. For some people, myself, I have a lot of social anxiety. It helps me manage social anxiety when I get into larger settings and larger settings. And
Oh, hey man, I do have one more that I was thinking because this helped me medically a ton. When I was younger, man, I used to have like just my stomach felt like crap all the time. I had to be really
Mhm.
careful what I ate. And when I started smoking weed, I was actually hungry. And it just, even if I had something that where my stomach felt borderline, I could go smoke some weed and it would make it feel better. Um, that's a big deal medically. And I know that, I'm sure older folks get stomach aches because I got them when I was young. But just appetite and nausea, that's a big benefit.
It makes a huge deal. It was originally, like the AIDS wasting syndrome, people going through chemotherapy for cancer, wasting syndrome again. It helps put on weight. And sometimes when you're older, you are kind of just wasting away. You may not have the same appetite. So, yeah, something like that to stimulate it can be great. And that was another one of the reasons. That was listed here in this AARP article because again, we've cannabis has made it. You are in the AARP newsletter, and I think that's great. But a couple of the reasons we touched on, 81% of the people said it relaxed them. This is almost like I feel like this is like the Family Feud. 26% to celebrate, and you said,
That's what I'm saying. That's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying, man. Sorry, Ricky Bobby just walked in, man. Dogs.
I do want to cover just a few of the potential risks for seniors because again I think we both believe that it could benefit people and it might be worth exploring for some
Oh
people.
yeah.
And, like we were just saying there, you don't have to get something that has psychoactive effects. You could try the topical. You could try some other things that doesn't give you the "ooh, I'm high," but maybe if that's what you want, give it a shot. Start low, go slow. Low dosage is always the best. But can you think of any risks, maybe that older people should be aware of when trying cannabis or something for like the first time for their aches and pains?
Yeah, don't freak out. Don't freak out. I mean, yeah, you start, people get too high, heart starts beating real fast, and I don't know. It's kind of
Yeah,
be scary for people.
it can be. It's always, in my earlier days when I was young, because again, according to this study, we are old. But when I was young, we call them trip sitters. You always had somebody
Uh,
that kind of stayed behind and
right.
made sure that everybody kept it together and was okay. That's not a bad idea. If you're trying, edibles for the first time, maybe try it in a safe environment
Yep.
at home.
Yep.
Have somebody you can comfortably talk to that is level headed. So if they need to make decisions, like you're saying, Scotty, if you freak out, have somebody there that can maybe calm you down. But that's, again, if you start low and go slow, that's a very, very unlikely scenario, but something that should be planned for. So I'm glad you mentioned that one. One of my main things that I always like to mention too is, especially as we kind of get older, and sometimes like the case of Parkinson's, we don't take as big of steps anymore. Maybe we do kind of shuffle steps. There is a greater chance of injury or falls, and we know when you're and we know as older folks can be, um, injuries and falls tend to be a lot more serious business. So, who do we got here now?
Coco's hanging out. You hear? She started snoring, man. She told us to step up the content, man. All right. So, Uh, you're 100% right. By the way, I was walking down a step this morning. I guess I am old because yeah, I almost tripped over it. I was like, yeah, it is a reality. I sometimes get clumsy when I'm super baked, especially on edibles.
Yes. So again, don't drive, don't do those, don't use power saws and things like that, especially if you're not experienced. So take it easy. Put on your favorite album, watch a movie, do something enjoyable, paint, do any of those
Hang
things.
out with somebody cool. You know,
Yes.
how do you
Yes.
get? How would you talk to somebody and talk? If it's your dad or my dad, and talk them into trying cannabis and getting ready to get high too. They're like, oh, I'll try the CBD, but I don't want to get high. You gotta say,
Yep.
hey, might be ready to get
What I always like to do, and this is a little bit devious, but I think it's the safest and best way to approach this. If you are working with someone who's not used to being intoxicated, they're not used to that kind of altered state of reality. Even if they're just going to try CBD, I typically give them 0 milligrams on the first time. 0 milligrams is a zero dose. And the reason I do that is some
me.
people have a hard time letting go of control, and that creates a lot of anxiety, and that is where the panic can be. So
Yes.
if I'm with somebody and it's their first time and they're not used to it, I give them 0 and then I see how they react. Most people are like, that was, I didn't really notice anything, that was, good, maybe I'll try a little more next time. But there have been some people that are like, I feel it. I feel it. Like it's coming on. And those are the people who this isn't going to be good for. Because again,
They're ready to.
they had nothing. Yes,
Wow.
they're psychologically not made for this, and that's fine. Again, it's going to be a small percentage, but you don't want to be next to that person who's in the small percentage. So yeah, I give them 0, and then if they're fine, I'll give them 5 milligrams next time, or maybe 3. It
Sure.
depends.
Sure.
But I'll also make them feel good by taking probably about 3 to 4 times of what they're taking. So I'll be like, trust me, you'll be good.
Like, hey, I thought you were supposed to watch me. I thought you were in
Yeah, yeah.
charge, man. No, that's
Like,
awesome.
trust me, man, I got this.
CBD is a good
I
gateway
got
too. You know what I mean? If you give somebody a CBD, hand balm or something like that, and they're like, "Hey, that
it.
stuff really worked," and you're like, "Hey, you should try it. It works really well with a little THC in it. Let me give you a 1-to-1 or something like that." It's kind of a nice introduction. Does this dog make me look tough?
Yeah, so I just wanted to real quickly just hit two more of the risks because again, I believe in cannabis. I believe in the benefits it could give to people, but I also want people to do it coming from an educated
Hell
position.
yeah!
Um, just with anything you do in life, know the risks, know the benefits, weigh them yourself. So okay, so we covered, falls, injury. Oh, excuse me. We covered a greater chance from injuries and falls, just stability and balance. That's if you're taking something that is intoxicating. You also want to, interaction with medications. That's not really been studied thoroughly because, again, federally illegal, hard for that to get studied. But the increased heart rate is something that seems to be documented out there. And if you have a concern with increased heart rates, that may be something to maybe consult your doctor on. Talk to him these days. You would be surprised. I've told my doctor that I smoke cannabis. He makes stoner jokes to me. I don't know if he's joking, but he gives me great medical attention. Scotty, I don't know. Would you tell your doctor you're a pot
I
smoker?
absolutely do. Definitely, man. I want to get good medical treatment. I want to be. That's a big
Yep,
thing to hide, right?
it is. It affects many things in different ways, and I guess top of my head, one immediate drug interaction, and this has been studied and documenting. The use of THC in cannabis makes the to knock you out before the anesthetic less effective. And they found that people who consume THC regularly need higher levels of
Yep.
anesthetic for surgery. So again, that's an interesting interaction. Talk to your doctor. Again, you might be
It
surprised.
freaks me out, man. The part that keeps it so you can't move to tell them the anesthetic is working, just the part that blocks the pain isn't working, man. Oh, good.
No, no. As long as my eyes aren't wide open, right?
Yes. Yes, man. Sounds like a movie. Good stuff, Chad
All
Westport.
right. Yeah, absolutely, Scotty Real. Thanks for hanging out today. Again, I don't think we're old. According to this, we're old. But cannabis, man, more people are trying it, and I'm happy with
Yeah.
that. Get your education on. Go check out Scotty Real over on the Scotty Real channel. Learn a little bit about growing, also on the Do Grow show,
Yeah.
and keep it locked here. Yeah, Chad Westport YouTube channel, man. You're gonna have more of Mr. Scotty Real and this guy right here with the fancy jacket
Hey.
coming at you with
Heard
news.
Chad Westport's growing some weed, man.
Allegedly.
Be cool, brother.